Include Now. Brought to you by Even Break.
Hello and welcome back to another Include Now after pod, also known as Community Corner. I'm your host, Josh, and I'm joined by my NADP dance partner, Adam, and also our wonderful guest, Mr. Paul White, the CEO of the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower, because thank you very much for joining us on Community Corner.
Thank you for inviting me, Josh. Delighted to be here.
So, because it was great to listen to you talk to Adam earlier on, talking on the journey, but also the impact that your organization has had as a person that has a non-visible condition. It's cool to recognize that there's a place that can help quite a large percentage of the disabled community feel represented too.
That's great to hear. That's what we strive to do. We want people to feel comfortable to wear the sunflower, to be able to self-advocate for themselves, and to be able to receive just simple accommodations that you might need, just to be able to get through your day and to experience other things. So it's always really reassuring for us when we speak to the sunflower community that they view the sunflower in a positive way.
Because in terms of how Community Corner takes place, I will ask you a couple of queries that our community had, and then you get the opportunity to ask Adam and I anything. Well, to a point, of course, but yeah.
I want to ask the question about Adam dancing. That's what I want to ask. That's the question I want to know. That's the question I'm going to ask. But until that moment, I'm ready.
Okay, cool. So our community wanted to know if they have a non-visible disability, how do I advocate for myself in a workplace that doesn't get it?
Well, if the organisation doesn't get it, it's going to be very challenging on that person. And as I mentioned in the podcast or the episode I did with Adam, it really should be incumbent on the organisation to create that environment and not on the individual. And it, with regards to the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower, it does take a bit of courage to wear the sunflower. It takes a little bit of courage to advocate yourself. and to stand up and say, I have got hidden disability and I might need these accommodations. But I think you find that the majority of people in this world are kind.
Yeah.
The majority of people in this world will want to support other people. Whether they know how to do it or not is another matter. But the start of it is representation, and the start of it being kind. So I think in that instance, it really is around just speaking to someone that you're comfortable speaking with. Tell them of what your condition is and what accommodations you'll be need, and then hopefully feel confident that they will take that on board, and they will do the right thing. The world is changing, man. The world is changing, and the world is changing for the better, and people are seeing disability as the norm, and they are making those accommodations. So take that step. Be courageous. Potentially wear the sunflower to demonstrate your condition, and then hope that organisation sees the value in supporting you.
Yeah, because it is that. Because it is that case of trying to create the opportunity to have a positive conversation with a person that your company, and as you just touched on, talking to a trusted colleague is a great place for that initial a conversation too, right?
I completely agree. It's speak to people, tell them what you need, and then be confident that they will support you. And I think, as I say, certainly the organisations that we work with, the Sunflower, they have taken that step. They have taken that step to create an inclusive environment, and they are supporting their disabled colleagues, and they want you to. Organisations want you to bring your real self to work. They want you to bring, because by doing that, that's where you'll feel comfortable, and then you add real value to that organisation. So organisations that ignore that, then they're only going to fail.
Perfect. Because moving on, how do you respond if someone questions the legitimacy of a hidden disability?
1 in 5 of us in the UK has some form of disability, and 80% of those disabilities are not visible. So that's 12 million people just in the UK. That could be me, that could be you, that could be anyone in this building who has a non-visible disability. So it's in all of our interests to support our disabled communities, because we don't know who that person is, what their background is, and what challenges they are. So it really comes back to just that hoping the majority of these people are kind. That the majority of people, that if you do explain to them, which I guess in a lot of cases can be exhausting, continuing having to advocate for yourself and what your needs are. But if you do explain that, the majority of people that I know, that I meet, are kind, and they will make accommodations and adjustments to enable you to get to use that organisation's facilities, or to be able just to navigate through that workspace, whatever it is. So I think you've just got to be hopeful, and you've got to trust that people in general are kind. That you are going to meet the odd person that isn't going to be the case, and then it's totally in your rights just to turn around and walk away, because you are never going to be able to prove to everybody or to convince everybody that you have something going on that isn't visible. Yeah. But in my experience, the vast majority of people will take it on board.
Cool.
I think it's important to also you shouldn't need to justify to anyone. So I think, I know we still live in a society that often requires medical evidence, but ultimately I think it's important for the disabled community. I say the understanding that it's easier said than done, but to be comfortable knowing that you shouldn't have to justify to people who just don't get it.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect. And then moving on to the last one from our community. What's the most important piece of advice you've learnt on your inclusion journey?
Right at the beginning of my journey with the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower, somebody said to me, if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. And that obviously means that we are all individuals, we are all very, very different, and how people experience their disability, whatever that condition is, if it's the same as someone else's, they're never going to experience it in exactly the same way. And the accommodations and adjustments that they need are never going to be exactly the same. And that statement can be the same for any hidden disability, for any condition. So for me, that was the best bit of advice, that treat everybody as an individual. Treat everybody with the amount of kindness that they deserve, and the respect and the understanding, and treat them as an individual. And by doing that, for me, I have been able to learn so much from the disabled community, and hopefully the Sunflower is able to be represented in the way that we hoped, or that we hope for, which is to advocate for the rights for people with disability and enable them to be able to self-advocate for themselves.
Because that's great, and certainly an important lesson where, like, not only concentrating on disability inclusion, but any person that you come across, it's important to take that person as they are.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Okay, where this is the part of the podcast where I now hand it over to our guest. So please ask us something.
Well, the question I want to ask, and the same as I ask a lot of times when I meet people, is how do you view the Hidden Disability Sunflower, and would you both wear the sunflower if it was offered?
Like, as a person that has a non-visible condition, obviously, like, as its whole concept, it is a positive for the whole of the hidden disability community. Like, as I am a honest person, like, I probably wouldn't choose to wear it just as I'm a pretty good advocate for myself and what I need. And to be completely honest, there's a part of me that doesn't want to bring more like attention to the way that I talk, and that's the whole reason I'm clearly on a podcast. But those are kind of the reasons why, but I can totally get that like it's a positive like for a kind of people across the globe as well.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Again, so interesting. I've got a journey with this. So, speaking really candidly, when I first saw it, a particular individual had and I had bad a place that it was all quite like you could not see sunflower. I was looking at this individual. I didn't have the knowledge and the context of what it meant.
Yep.
And when I first saw it, I thought, okay, I'm someone that partly identifies as a disabled person. But I think because of how I saw it being used in that first instance and because I didn't understand it, it looked like almost like a warning beacon, if you like, it was just so. But now I've understood it, and I do have hidden differences. I think whilst I can't advocate for myself, I would put that in now, because it is about representation, it's about community. I really like the some about extra, and that's really exciting to share what your accommodations are. So originally no, but now yes.
Cool.
Okay. Because we can always talk on Adam's dance after
Yeah,
the cameras go off too. Okay,
I'd
mate.
be more interested in seeing Adam's dance and talking about Adam's dance, Josh. But absolutely, dance is key.
I've got no words.
Because on that point, it is probably the perfect time to wrap up. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming on to Community Corner. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, guys. It's been absolutely my pleasure too. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And if you've enjoyed this episode of Community Corner, don't forget to like and comment, and of course include now.